What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So I have some bombshell news about the story we've been following on my timeline regarding the new grad who was just charged with a felony, involuntary manslaughter, for a patient going missing and her not reporting it till the next day. Now, we have seen from the case that happened in Virginia with the 18 people, there's what the news reports, and then there's what goes on for real. And the real nurses working on the inside know the real story. Let's get into it. So now, the news is reporting this nurse we saw on the body cam footage. First of all, why do cops have body cams going in to a nursing home? We saw on the body cam footage the nurse was visibly upset, but she had told them, I'm a new grad, but they come. What training did you get? We know that that came from the director, but let's talk about what really happened. So, this nurse was scheduled to work 7 to 7, the new grad, scheduled to work 7 to 7. There's 2 floors in this nursing home, bottom, top. This patient was in the rehab floor. She's on the bottom, right? This nurse calls in, I'm running late. I'm not going to get there until about 8 o'clock or whatever she said. She was running late for work. The day shift nurses, okay, run late, that's fine. Common practice in this facility is whatever nurse is in the building, if there's one upstairs, give her the keys. So the day shift nurses left that unit. The last one was there till about between 7:30 and 8 because she was still charting. They give the keys, their cart keys now. They give the keys to the nurse upstairs. She comes down, she gets the cart keys. Does she count with them? Does she not? We don't know. She gets the keys, ready to hand them to the nurse that's coming in to work 7 to 7. So now the nurse doesn't show up to work till 9 o'clock. That floor is without a nurse for that whole time. She shows up at 9 o'clock. She goes, gets her keys from the other nurse, who was the only nurse in the building responsible for all the patients. She gets her keys from her. She starts doing her job. Goes in. Okay. Is the patient there? No, she's not. Nursing assistant say, hey, maybe she went out with her brother. We saw the brother here. She's probably out on LOA with them. Where the new grad nurse dropped the ball, she didn't check. She didn't follow up to see, what was going on with that situation, because when she looked and saw there was no notes about it, gave the brother one call, went on about her business. Long story short, they find out at 6 a.m. Yes, the nurse did check off. She is wrong because she did check off that she gave the patient medication at 11 o'clock. She didn't give the patient medication at 11 o'clock. She falsified documentation there. She still hasn't saw her patient. We are not saying she's not at fault here, but she's not the only one at fault. Nurses left without giving proper handoff. Nurse took the keys, was the only one in the building. So maybe the patient escaped while she was there. This isn't the first time a patient escaped. So now the patient is on the first floor. She's alert and oriented, but she sundowns. She does have trouble walking, but she's in rehab. The brother had a case with Adult Protective Services that the hospital initiated because she wasn't being properly cared for at home. So this is what's going on with him. The door that you have to get out, she's on the first floor. She has to open the door to get out, but she has to walk upstairs, hook a left, and then go out to the patio. So they are wondering, she got out the door, go up the stairs, however she got up there and she got out, the door is alarmed. That means someone just turned off the alarm and didn't check to see where the person in the wheelchair was, because her wheelchair was left at the door. Now, long story short, 6 o'clock rolls around. Lady's still not there. And they're like, hey, we don't think that the CNA that comes in, get patients up, is like, this woman didn't go LOA with her brother. So the new grad nurse calls the day shift nurse that's coming on and says, this patient, I haven't seen her. She's not here. I don't think she's LOA with the brother. That nurse is already pulling in. She's like, initiate a cold purple. That day shift nurse runs in the building, starts their cold purples when they start looking for the resident. They start looking for the resident. This nurse, who needs grief counseling, I would say, sees the wheelchair there. She follows the path up the stairs. She goes to the patio. She sees the patient out there on the patio. Starts CPR. The police did not come in and save the day, the way the news made it seem. The nursing assistants, all night. You didn't know this patient wasn't there? You're just as wrong. The nurses that left the unit, so she didn't get proper handoff to know whether it was a true LOA or not. She didn't get proper handoff. The nurses that just dropped the keys and walked off and abandoned your patients, you're at fault as well. There was no RN supervisor in the building. Apparently, this is okay in Ohio. But now they're looking for an RN supervisor because maybe they're seeing it's just not okay. So, is she at fault? For sure. Is she the only one at fault? No. When I tell you guys, protect yourself in nursing homes, be tight with your clinical skills, but now there's also a legal aspect of nursing that you have to know and understand. Know your policies. Know your procedures. Do not abandon your patients. Do not just hand the keys and walk off, because y'all just as liable. Because she wasn't there when y'all were. She wasn't there when a lady popped up. So did she escape while you nurses abandoned the unit? Did she come out of her room and escape then? Everyone is at fault in the building. The DON is at fault for allowing this practice to go on. It's not just all on this new grad nurse, who, by the way, has been a nurse for less than a year. I think this was only her second job. The way the news reported it, it seems like it all was on the new grad nurse. There were several system failures, and she should not be the only one charged. She didn't do it maliciously. We have to stop with these involuntary manslaughter charges because it's negligence and it should be handled by the board. It's unfortunate that a patient froze to death, demented. The lady probably was trying to get in. I can't even think about what that lady went through on her last hours. But locking nurses up is not the way. This is not the way. Administration is responsible just as much as the nurses. Nurses, protect yourself. Don't drop your keys. Stop walking in these facilities that aren't properly run, because you just don't know when it's going to be your turn. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it.